Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Technology Show, where our experts translate geek into regular speak. How do you feel about mixed reality versus virtual reality? And what are your thoughts? Gadgets or games? And where exactly are you on the battlefield of Windows versus Apple? Stay tuned for our special geek guests. And now, it's over to our Techsperts.
It is the Technology Show where we translate geek
into regular speak.
I got it right this week.
You did.
We're nearly at the end, man. We got what? One more week to go.
It is.
Hey? Yeah, it's a week.
Yeah.
I can't believe this year's gone.
Incredible.
We are talking weather because I had a good weather. Tell me about your weather because it sounds like you had fun as well with dogs.
I did.
I actually should rephrase that, right? Weather
Yes.
Fun with dogs.
I did have fun
I'll
with
let
dogs.
you talk.
Yeah. No. Anyone who hasn't been, Silver Beach out by Cronulla, I guess the point. It's like the furthest out point out there.
Have we been there? So like when you and I went there, did we go there or were we still north?
We're still north. So this is like you go past the Shark Stadium and you keep going straight.
Oh, wow.
And keep
okay.
keep going. Yeah. Kite surfing.
Oh.
Bonanza. Just
Nice.
incredible seeing these guys get 15 feet of air.
Yeah, I used to watch that in South Africa. It's amazing.
I mean, I'd love to. It looks like there's some skill involved.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now,
Yeah.
it is hard. And after you do it, you do not get out of bed for a week.
Yeah.
Your body is just sore.
Yeah,
Every muscle that you thought you didn't have is there. It just goes, hello.
Yeah, those people look like they're seriously
Nice.
in shape.
Because I actually haven't seen kite surfing like on the eastern beaches.
Okay.
I've never really seen anyone do it. As I said, in South Africa, there's a couple of beaches where it's really popular, where the wind really pumps.
Yeah.
So now I know where to go and do kite surfing.
On the eastern beaches, do you see the Marauder jet ski guys?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't think they're allowed, huh?
Oh, we saw them up and down from...
See, it's the Shire, right? You can do what you want down there. It's like lawless land.
Brighton, Les Sands, all the way down, just looking and seeing on, what was that? The beach that's right next. There were just these dudes really...
Ramsgate.
Getting
So
so
can you,
close.
sorry to cut you off, Brighton, Les Sands, you can take a jet ski out as well?
Oh, yeah. There were
I
definitely
didn't know
tons of them
that.
out there. Yeah. And they were getting so close to the swimmers. So
Well,
it's
that's
kind of,
fun.
like,
It's like Target, right? Dunk.
I don't. Yeah.
No. New virtual reality game. Dunk.
Yeah. Tag those guys. Oh.
No, but what's Silver Beach, though? Because that's not just kite surfing. It sounds like it's a dog-friendly beach.
It's a
Because there are not
dog-friendly
many
beach,
of those.
Yeah. So it's a good beach. It's got like probably 50 to 100 meter sections that have a little grass thing, then another section, and we went down there for seashells. So it's one of the few beaches in Sydney actually has seashells you can look at.
Okay.
But yeah, lots of dogs.
I'll have to look at an Instagram picture because I can see it's going to be flowers, food, and seashells thing coming up. No? Yes?
I took photos of pelicans and some of the view. The view's not that good. You're looking out across at the seaport, so yeah, you're not getting a beautiful vistas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just rode my bike. I know that sounds like the way I feel. I just rode my bike, but I did over 2.5 hours on my bike doing all the beaches. So stopping, taking it in, checking it out. I actually saw one or two topless bathers, which I haven't seen for a while, lying on the rocks in full glory.
I did see one.
I didn't take pictures. So, sorry, Jeff and Peter. There won't be any pictures of the topless bathers I didn't take. But yeah, it was just like I went out and I hugged the coastline. So wherever I could, I just took the hunter and I hunted. It was awesome. But for me, the culmination was to park next to a Triumph. I was just sat there and there was an old school Triumph parked right next to me. There was when my bike grows up, it will look like that kind of thing, like a father's son. Anyway, so that was, that's the weather, right? Kind of. We talk more beaches than weather. Should we go into the app of the week?
App of the week.
Dun, dun, dun. Now, when I told you about the app of the week, your response seemed to be almost the raised eyebrow, what the what? Now, I don't know if that was because it's an old app or because it's me doing what it is that the app does. So which one was it? Just so that I know when I changed the way I talk about this app.
No, some of both. I mean, and I'll let you introduce the app, but it has been around for a little while. And I'll get into it in a little bit. But also, I don't see you as being a user of that kind of an app.
Well, there we go. Okay, so now I understand where the confusion was. So, for that cryptic little intro, the app of the week for me this week was Calm. Calm. So there's multiple reasons why I chose it. It's not a new app. In fact, I think it's about 2 years old. I don't even think it's a year old. I think it's actually close on 2.
Yep.
Excuse me. I had an incredibly stressful week 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I don't know. It was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I can't remember. It must be 2 because I've done 7 days of calm. So it's 14 days. And I was actually looking for, like you get those apps with the relaxing music. And they just play that like crickets and sea and stuff. And I couldn't sleep. So I was actually looking for sleep music.
Okay.
And when I was scrolling through, well, you won't know, but if you're on an iPhone, if you've got an app that you've previously had, it shows it as a little cloud with an arrow. And Calm came up. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that.
That's an iPhone thing, hey?
Yeah, it's an iPhone thing.
Yeah.
What does it do on Android, by the way? So like if you had an app and then you deleted the app and now you're searching for an app, does it show you that you've previously owned that app? I can't remember.
So on Google Play, it has all apps, which includes the apps you've downloaded before and
that's
the apps you've
all apps. And then it shows installed apps. That's right. Okay. Yeah. So Apple uses like a little cloud and it shows a downward arrow saying that you can re-download. You already own it if you've paid for it or you've already downloaded it.
Yeah.
So, okay, I remember that. So I hit that and I was like, I must have downloaded for a reason, so it must be good. And when you land on the home page, at the bottom, there's like sleep, meditate, stories, I think it is, where they just read you these relaxing stories. So I looked at meditate because this window popped up. It says the 7 days of calm. Try it now for free. I have to give a shout out to Tamara Levitt. She's the voice on the story. And I must say, like, how some guys go, oh, Siri's so hot, or, whatever voices they hear on these bots, like Alexa, and they want to meet Alexa, and they want to marry Alexa, and that. I'm not looking, sorry, Tamara, that wasn't a proposal.
Jeff.
But she has the most soothing voice.
Yeah.
It's just one of those voices that you have to feel calm.
Interestingly enough, not a Scottish accent.
No.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. Not like last week.
So this is a bit stalkerish. I looked up on LinkedIn. Okay,
Ooh.
So she's a real person. She's head of mindfulness, I think, is her designation.
At Calm, or?
At Calm.
Yeah.
But I actually tried the 7 days of calm, the meditation.
Yeah.
Okay, I cheated a little bit. It says you got to sit and close your eyes. I don't sit. I lay down. I'm trying to sleep, so I'm doing it at night. I must tell you, I felt so relaxed by day 5 that I actually was looking forward to that session. And I've now used the premium version as well, which unlocks like these, and they've got these stories. So like when it comes to trying to sleep, besides the music's fantastic. They've got the crashing waves and that's, you don't need calm for that. You can get that all over the place. But the stories are incredible. I can't tell you what they're about, and I've never heard the end. Okay? But they just have this voice that soothes. It like soothes the soul. Maybe that's what we'll call this episode. Soothes the soul. But, it basically, you can't help but feel calm. I know that's cheesy. That's what
it's meant
for. But
for.
that's what it does exactly what it is. It's not the sexiest app in the world. It's actually still very like hybrid-y looking. Like it looks almost like it's been done by a phone gap. And again, I'm not knocking App, and I'm sure they've made gazillions of dollars. But for someone that's never meditated before, and that's obviously to your point of me, because it's not me, and it's not what I do and believe in. And I must say, some of the stories are like talking about let it go and forgive, and then I'm like, that's not Brett. I'm probably the most vindictive bastard out there. But her voice is really calming, and the story section were fantastic. And then what I did like is I did put on the music, like the calming music, and I think they're about 10 or 18 minutes each. If you end, it just automatically goes into the next one. So it doesn't like break. So like, when you get to that point where you're almost dozing, but you're not dozing yet, if you had to stop and push play again or something, it's going to just wake you up. It just naturally progresses into the next song. So it does what it says. It calms you down. I think if you ever, people say, if you just go and scream in a room or punch a bag or something like that. If you can't do that, it really does work. I mean, and I did through a headset. So yeah. I did try it the one day, like just, so for the music, I didn't have a headset. I put it next to my bed and it was dark and I was listening. But listening to her talk and listening to the stories, I did it with a headset and it was amazing. It's just right in there.
And which headset?
my Jabra 65Ts.
Jabra
My
65Ts.
little buds, yes.
Little plug to you guys.
Little plug to you guys, yeah. You know, I can't do it over ear because you try and roll over.
No,
and
you
it's
can't.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the key to any of these, and Calm's a good one because they actually tell you to like remind you to come back and do it again, like next day, tomorrow and stuff, is that conversations I've been having with people around any kind of mindfulness or wellness practice or really anything, gym, whatever it might be, is consistency. And if you come back to it and you continue doing it, I mean, most of the Calm ones are like 7 minutes. Some of the free ones are.
Yeah, I think they're like 10 minutes.
So
I must be honest, that's enough for me though.
Yeah.
Because it's the ADHD starts kicking.
Yeah.
Even that she says to you, like, if you're being distracted, don't be hard on yourself. Just take your distraction and bring it back. I'm like, no, I'm a squirrel. You know, it's that I need to stop that stuff. But guys, yeah, it's if you've had a hard year, and I think we all have. I mean, it's been a really long year for a lot of people. Take 7 minutes or whatever it is and just like unwind. You're going to have your phone in your hand anyway, so try it. And I think they give you 7 days on the premium version for free.
Yeah.
So you could try everything. You could try the stories, you could try the music, you could try the Tamara Levitt's voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two anecdotes. One is I did find it interesting that this morning I actually laid back down and I was like, I need to sleep. And then said, okay, let me think. And I had a coffee recently with our friend Nabby, and she was just saying, when I get super stressed out, someone else told me to just take 3 deep breaths. If you take 3 deep breaths, you can kind of break whatever state you're in and just stop yourself. And lay down, listen to my breath, and I did another thing where you breathe in, and then you breathe out. You sort of let the air flow out the back of your body and
that's
do
called a
muscle
fart.
relaxation. No, not that side.
Okay.
But you do muscle relaxation. You focus on each muscle, take a deep breath, let it out of your your shoulder muscles and your back and whatever it might be. So I listened to an awareness one, so I was to see get back to the app and hear it for this week, and it was pretty much exactly the exercise that I did for myself. So I was like, oh, that's nice. I'm doing it right. The other one that I found interesting is that the celebrity voices. So you've got Matthew McConaughey as one of them, right?
Yes,
so you got these different ones where people show up and come in. What's amazing is actually how much content they've built into this. I mean, if you are looking for that sustainable kind of continuous access to calming content, you're not going to
every day
out.
There's more stuff.
Yeah,
each day it's called the Daily Calm. It's something new.
No, I'm just scrolling through. I mean, there's so many stories and so many different things. So it is there, and if it works for you, it's one of those ones where if what is the value of $59 a year as opposed to sitting there and not getting that calm and relaxation you need?
It's funny, and this is the technology show. Yeah. And my whole perception has changed about spending money on apps. First of all, I hemorrhaged money on Cade with Minecraft and Fortnite, and now it's Overwatch. Okay.
Yeah, Overwatch is the new one.
Overwatch is the new flavor. And I used to like, dude, you're taking money and you're throwing it in the computer, blah, 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 blah. But what you've just said, it's $60 a year for the premium.
Yeah.
That's like what? 1 cent a day? Not even. It can't be. It's $5 a month. So it's like 0.012 cents a day. It's something ridiculous like that. If it's $5 a month, it's $2.50 for 2 weeks. It's $1 a week kind of thing. 52 weeks in a year, $1 a week. So it's not, and if you can change your perception on spending, there's some amazing apps out there. I'm not suggesting you just go and drop $700 on all those apps that you've been looking for. But
I'm just pointing at your watch.
What's my watch doing?
Well, Fitness First charge you $8 a week or something like that? So, it's when you break it down to like how much you're paying for coffee.
Same thing.
Right?
And we use that rationale. Yeah. It's funny enough, just to finish it off, you get a Breathe app on your watch, on the Apple Watch, and it reminds you to breathe every now and then. And it links to your heart rate. So if your heart rate's up or elevated and not like cardio, like if you have a stress spike, the Breathe app actually pops up. So it actually says, breathe. What you were saying about 3 deep breaths, it's 1 minute of breathing, deep breaths.
Yeah,
and it's haptic. You feel it going in and out. So it's important. It's like that inner working stuff. No, I'm not going to start namaste and being a vegan or anything like that. Vegans upset people. They're just miserable. So I'm not going to be a vegan. But calm. It's the longest app of the week we've ever done. But
worthwhile.
It was, yeah. It was.
Necessary.
It's just one of those give back apps.
Yeah. Get ready, folks, because this time on Techknowledgy is the Technewz section.
With a Z.
With a Z.
Z. How was the guest last week's voice?
My goodness!
It would be Technewz with a Z.
I couldn't recreate it for my parents. I was trying. I was like,
I'll send you a video.
This guy was on.
Because I went to the launch party that night, and he was pouring cocktails. And he's talking. Yeah, he was doing it. And then he did the whiskey tasting.
Yeah.
And he takes you through the notes. Now, I've had the head distiller of Glenmorangie, competitor, take me through a whiskey tasting. And her voice was soothing and very much like calm, right?
Yeah.
This guy, I mean, Wee James, as he calls himself, I think he smoked 3 million cigarettes when he was in utero.
He must. How do you get a voice like that?
I don't know. And he's not a big guy. It's amazing, actually. Anyway, where do you want to go first?
I think that I don't know.
Okay, I'll jump into
You go
one.
ahead.
We mentioned Fortnite earlier. Epic Games is about to take on Steam and all the other online platforms where you game. So if you're not a gamer, the next 1 minute is absolutely irrelevant to you. But if you are, basically Epic Games is going to, first of all, they're offering 88% of the revenue back to the developers. Now that's fantastic. That's 18% more than Google Play, Apple, blah blah blah, Steam, Valve, Twitch. I don't even know. I'm not a gamer. And basically, to lure customers, this is where it gets interesting. So first of all, they don't have to be Unreal games. They can be Unity game, any game you want, any indie game you can load up on Steam. We were talking about this either last week or the week before, about how these services are now all popping up that are just killing the traditional means of broadcasting it. It's no different in gaming. But here's the kicker, is to lure the consumers. Because, if you build a marketplace, you actually have to have shoppers. It doesn't work. You got to get both at the same time. It's the supply and demand. Oh, we've got calming water effects going over there. Fortnite will give away a free game every 2 weeks for the entirety of 2019, and they will pay for the games. So the developer's not out of pocket. So if obviously they're not going to do it per download, right? They'll probably go to the developer and say, right, we'll give you $1 million for the next 2 weeks or whatever it is. I don't know. They can take an average of earnings. But you will be able to play a new game on Epic Games' engine. I don't know what it's called. I didn't see the name. For free every 2 weeks for 2019. Now, if that doesn't get you into online gaming, nothing will. And they're looking after their developers. So well done to them. I think that's a big give back.
They're trying to bring it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to move into the direction of AI because it's always fun. And this is in the rounds of a hashtag thanks Google. Actually, it's no longer Google, but Waymo launched its first autonomous paid service.
I saw that.
Yeah. So
Phoenix, Arizona. Talking about them like driving. I think Aussies went over and went into a demo of Waymo.
I'm sure.
So for those people that don't know, it's a driverless car. It's like Uber, but without an Uber driver.
Yep. And it's
only in one state though, isn't it?
It's in just one city, so Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah. How do they get away with all these? Like everyone seems to go there to test shit, right? Like they seem to be lax.
Phoenix, it's a very quiet city. I mean, for a city, it is a city, but it's quite quiet, quite calm. People drive pretty chill. I think something about the air just keeps people like kind of calm down.
Well, the fact that it's a desert, everything's
it is a desert. Like, yeah, there's not much going on there. But the interesting part is that you have to be. It's only for I think 4 suburbs, and then you have to be
so
within.
It's locked.
It's locked, and then there were a test. They were giving free rides to 400 people, or
That's
400
cool.
families.
That's
and
really cool.
The availability is only for those 400 people to use it as a paid service.
Can you imagine the indemnity that they had to sign? Like if we kill you, or the fact that you're getting into a vehicle that will move without a driver.
Yeah.
Sign here, here, and here, and here, and here. And blood sample there, and DNA sample there.
Yeah.
And then for each kid. Now, look, it's the future up, but we've said this 100 times.
Yeah.
You cannot have autonomous and humans on the same road at the same time.
Yeah.
Until they find a way which way to go. total left center, and I didn't actually have this written down. Apparently, old Elon Musk's tunnels under LA are about to open. He's like done it.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if they're ready to open, but
he's about to test them, like a live test or something.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing about him, his head and his mouth are not always connected, hence his current troubles. But he does do what he says he's going to do. Now, he's talking 2020, I think, to Mars. So,
And he wants to be on the flight as well.
Yeah, well,
he wants to go.
No, he's not going to go.
He's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I don't think so. The trappings of his current lifestyle have to be somewhat better than a red, barren planet with not necessarily a way back.
So, another side note from that one is if anyone has ever seen epic rap battles of history on YouTube, so they take two famous people and battle them. So the latest one just got launched. This is after like a year and a half of quiet. Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, I've actually got to see that.
It's quite good.
Send me the link. I'll put that up. Those are quite good. I'm going to have a little, what were you thinking, to our wonderful government. We passed our anti-encryption law this week.
Oh.
I mean, everyone, so
Dude.
Dear government, and please don't mess me up yet because I'm still not a citizen, but I'm just going to be out there. We already called the nanny state in the eyes of the world, and then you pass something like this. What are you thinking? The definition of encryption, just to enlighten you guys there, is something that only the people that are involved in it can do. So basically, you're breaking down the security of what app developers have done so that you can spy on us. And don't say you're not going to. It's for extenuating circumstances. Me not paying my parking bill is not an extenuating circumstance. And effectively, the act would allow you to get the parking app to provide my details. That's what it means when you break it down into simplistic talk. So Apple is jumping up and down about this. Remember the case with the Boston bomber, and they wanted to unlock the phone, and Apple refused to do that. That was an American soil in Boston. Well, obviously it's Boston.
Yeah.
And some Israeli company, we talked about it on the show, some Israeli company did break the encryption, and Apple wasn't happy about that either. The point that I'm making is that, if you ask, then we could probably help you out. That's the way you should be doing it. Making something a law, have a look at the history of the world when laws were made and what they do to people when they one-sided laws. So, well done, ACT. Last week you had drones doing delivery and you were awesome. This week, you're just a bunch of parties. Sorry.
Yeah. So, only side little note on that one is I can't remember the name of the dude. I think it's Barr or something like that. But Trump is about to appoint his new Secretary of State. And he was the Secretary of State for the recently passed George H.W. Bush. And people are online like, who is this guy? Why is he coming in? So apparently this was a huge proponent of the Patriot Act, which was access to Americans' information.
Ah, because you would have that, right?
Yeah, and he's saying it wasn't enough. I want more. And so, I don't know, but this whole idea of personal data and personal liberties, it's kind of like...
I think it's just to keep us happy. Like they have these conversations just so that we actually take our eyes off the ball as to what's really going on.
That's absolutely.
I mean, you've got, what's the dude's name? Old Assange. Now, Ecuador's had enough of this guy,
like,
right? He's blocked the toilets. He's bringing ex-hookers, Baywatch chicks into the house. They've just had enough. And he's not leaving, man.
No.
He's like,
I'm
and I think the UK offered him no more than 6 months in jail. I think that was the latest offer. If he comes out, they guarantee he won't go to jail for more than 6 months. But they're not guaranteeing non-extradition because that's all he's worried about.
Yeah.
The 6 months, he could do 6 years in jail. Effectively, he's in jail anyway. But if the states get their hands on him, and I think the states have also said, we'll take the death penalty off the table. Still, he's going to be life in jail, in an American jail. Now, how come the Aussies haven't stepped in there? He's an Aussie, isn't he?
Honestly, with the way things are going now, I could see him get extradited to the U.S. and then pardoned.
Probably.
And like a lifetime visa and free access to all the Baywatch
It'll
scenes.
be awesome.
Dude.
If he just puts a red cap on, he should be fine.
All right. I'm going to stick with the AI side of things. Company called Cambridge Consultants has a platform.
I thought you were going to say Analytica.
No. Another one, Cambridge Consultants. They're probably from Harvard or something. Deep Ray is an AI platform, and what it can do is take damaged or blurry video footage and actually clean it up and identify what the objects were in that footage.
How?
And so,
I mean, that's amazing.
it's incredible. Basically,
Hence artificial intelligence. But
yeah, I mean, if the way that not general AI, which is what people are afraid of, but which is the thinking AI.
Yeah.
But the more task specific AI, which is what is out there in today. If you feed it enough information and it has enough of a library of information to learn from, it teaches itself and it learns on its own. And when you put two of the AIs against each other and they then compare each other to each other, it's kind of like this race. And so that's how not AlphaGo, but the Google AI that now learned Go in 3 days.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. So as long as it can teach itself and has access to the information, if you open up the sources of information, which are now largely readily available, it can teach itself. So imagine like if you turn your head really fast and you watch cars go by. If you are just staring at traffic, you're not going to be able to see what the car is or the make. And you probably have a better sense than most people because you know cars really well. But if you try
and
to
I'm
move,
on a bike, everything's a blur.
But if you're standing still and looking at traffic and you move at the speed of traffic, you may be able to actually catch a license plate or a couple numbers.
I suppose it's also on the premise like what the phones are doing now. You know how your phones take multiple pictures and then choose almost the right one. They put it together.
Absolutely.
So it's the same kind of mentality that like the data's there. The pixel is there. It's just we can't see it.
That's it.
That's awesome. The next thing I have is not as exciting as that. It's just me being me, I suppose. Bye-bye Explorer or Edge, whatever you're calling it now. So the wonderful Microsoft is going to be rebuilding Edge. I didn't know that people still used Edge or Explorer, but anyway, on Chromium. So Chromium, if you didn't know, is what Google uses as the open source project. So effectively, Microsoft have gone back to their roots of copying, stealing, I'm not sure what the right word is, because, they're going to basically launch another browser, which, guys, we don't need. We don't need another browser. Like, you don't have to add it into Windows. We'll forgive you. But it will be built on Chrome. And just as a stat, for the stats people out there, I mean, Edge, which is the new Explorer, only has 4.3% of the desktop browser market. So the question is, why? Why bother? Just like shelve the project, fire the people, or put them into something else, like something more worthwhile. I mean, Google Chrome has got 64% of the market.
Here's the reason why.
Why?
Chrome is so heavy. It's the same reason why AOL still exists. So
does AOL still
exist?
Still exists? I just thought they sold URLs.
Super powerful.
Really?
So AOL, people still use it. There's still people actually using dial-up to access AOL 28.8 modems.
Oh my God!
In the U.S., absolutely. And
where do they live? In like Woodchuckville, Iowa,
wherever it might, Podunk, wherever, the reason why is because for those of us that are out there that just don't know how to use technology, you go to the store, you buy a laptop, and it's got that thing built on it. So you're like, I need to go on that internet kind of thing. So let me do my email and
that internet thing.
Here's this E that must mean email.
You forgot to spit, by the way.
So I'm gonna go do that, and they say, you can add my name on there, and it tells me the news every day. Well, that's just funky dory.
Well, slap me a silly and call me Susan.
That's it. But I mean, seriously, how many Windows PCs are out there?
But then just put a URL browser type thing in it. Like don't build a browser. Don't spend all that time making another clunky thing that people don't. Now, I mean, Chrome's got 64%. I'm battling with Chrome on my Mac because it is so heavy.
Yeah.
But then Firefox, there are a couple of other browsers out there. Like, do a deal. Maybe actually pay some money for a change. Like, instead of stealing shit. Well, Google's free. So just build something and just leave it as part of... What was the other one that they did? Their search engine's called Bing. You only need Bing to get to the internet anyway. I don't type URLs anymore. I open up a Google browser and I just type in the search with a .com or whatever and it fires up.
Yeah.
So anyway, they've tried so many times. Like Google, they keep failing with Messenger. They're about to kill Allo.
Hangouts as well.
Yeah. So give up. You don't own the space. It's not your space, clearly.
Yeah.
Stick to the stuff that you're really good at and stop wasting your resource. I don't know.
Interesting trend, though, and this is, again, following on the Microsoft news. So Microsoft has now done a huge relaunch of all its icons, as has Google.
Of all its icons.
All its
so
icons.
what do they look more like
Microsoft
iOS-y?
Word and Excel,
They
whatever
look
it might be.
more iOS.
Yeah, so Google did the same thing. So they did a huge refresh of their actual UI as well as their icons. And so they went to the round icons.
Okay,
So
I like that,
round.
actually.
It is
I like
nice.
round.
They're cleaner.
Yeah.
And so, we've spoken about the Gmail redo that they did. And that, I think everyone agrees that that's just been really a tremendous...
It's a huge leap.
Right? So the thinking is that Microsoft's going to be going through another huge UI transformation. And so we may or may not see that coming up, but we said it here first.
Well, there we go. In fact, why round makes sense as well? It's all the watches. Like, except for the Apple Watch. But most Gear watches, like Android Wear, not Gear, are round.
Yeah.
So if you've got round icons, you can bring up a full face icon. And maybe the next stage that within apps, the apps start to activate themselves. Like you preview a video, you'll be able to preview the app within itself on its face. Anyway, let's see. Oppo. Now, we've mentioned them a couple of times. So for those of you that don't know Oppo, it's a Chinese phone. They're doing amazing things all over the world. I mean, they're doing the same things that the Alcatels are doing, that the Huawei's did before they pegged themselves as premium. What's it? ZTE, Honor, OnePlus, all these guys, Xiaomi, they've done the first 5G multi-party video call. Why is this a big thing? Well, it's a big thing because China, and funny, they did it through WeChat. So they used WeChat as the platform. They ran it through 100 megahertz 5G network, and they had all these people. So I think there were 6 of them that did it on the call. Why is it a big thing? It's a big thing because it shows that 5G is going to do what it's going to do. It's going to give us that connectivity. On that note, Mr. Francis never responded to my invite. Remember, you started about that whole 5G thing?
Yeah.
Dave, you chicken, mate. I mean, it was just a friendly little reach out to you. I'm going to tag you again in this episode. And if you...
poke the bear.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You can't jump onto a forum and type if you're not prepared to actually back it up with words. So I was nice and polite and everything else, but you know what? What do they call it? Arse wagons, arse burgers, something like that. I don't know. But you got to come to the party, man. Like, man up. Anyway, so moving strictly along, have you got anything else on tech news?
One more thing, and I think this is an interesting one that we as a global society kind of have to be thinking about. And I noticed the bell is far away, but it might be a bell-worthy piece of news. So globally, cannabis as a product. That's it. The legalization and exploration and study of cannabis as like actual study, not just
not smoking it to see if it actually works.
So THC is the active ingredient in cannabis gets you high, but CBD is another ingredient that doesn't have any psychoactive action on the body.
And they're doing amazing stuff with that.
Tons
all
of
kinds
stuff
of medical
right?
things.
So from muscle pain relief to
ADHD. Yep.
So esport gamers are using CBD to increase
concentration. You see, because of ADHD.
Yeah. Now they've outlawed it for during the gameplay, but if people use CBD when they're practicing, there's no harm. Okay,
so this is something on a previous radio show. So when I was back in South Africa, I actually had a guy on about esports and that, and we were talking about stimulants and sports. Here's my view on stimulants. If you're going to be stupid enough to inject yourself with stuff like that they're supposed to put into horses and it's going to make you lift weights more or run more, but you're going to die when you're 20, go for it, man. That's your choice, okay? When these bodies start controlling what you can and can't do, like they're saying it's not fair and it's this and that, the bottom line is if the product has been proven to be safe, and I use that word loosely, I'm not talking about horse steroids now and make you lift up 100 kgs, okay? But if the CBD,
yeah.
If the CBD oil has been proven to be safe in the sense that it's not psychotropic, it's not addictive. It doesn't do anything that a stimulant would do, except for maybe help unlock some brain power or help focus, whatever. Then why the hell not? You know what I mean? Like, maybe do an impairment test. Put people in a car in a racing track and test them versus people with nothing inside their system and see what their reactions are like. Because you know what? I'd rather have someone driving on a road on CBD, that's going to be more accurate because they're more in tune with their environment. They're not drunk, they're not high, but they're more switched on than having someone who's tired, who's used coffee, which is perfectly legal and you can buy it anyway. And in this place, we all walk around with it all day long to try and keep themselves awake and self-stimulate. That's legal. You can drive around in 100 cups of coffee. The spark of coffee and then the drop of coffee has to be worse than that.
Yeah.
So
there's a few, there's like, you have to unpack that a little bit, right? So what's really, I think, interesting and probably the most important news on this is that AA group like the ESL, the Electronic Sports League, recognizing that the use of CBD as a whole is a net positive. You still can't use it during the competition, but as a net positive. And so the whole kind of...
How long does it take to get out of your system, though? Because if you're going to... Like, what happens if you were... Because these guys train, hey? I mean, the esports guys, this is not nerds sitting drinking Coca-Cola and eating chips. They train. They even meditate. They go to gym. So does it tell you, like, you have to stop 48 hours before or a week before? Or, I mean, have they gone that far as to what... Because like things like coffee and codeine, even for professional sports people, you're not allowed to have that in your system.
So using it during the tournament from the start of the first day until the end of the last day of the tournament is prohibited.
It obviously doesn't sit in your system that long.
Yeah,
well, that's brilliant.
It is, from my understanding, the ingestion or use of CBD is a pretty short-term experience, like maximum 3 hours. However, what you said before is, the devil's advocate is that like in the world, over 1 billion people don't have access to electricity. Those esports gamers that don't have the money to pay for those kinds of, better equipment, access to stimulants. There is a limitation where you do get some kind of unfair experience.
No, but you see, this is the thing. And I have a problem with like the UK schools do the same thing. 2 schools play soccer against each other and everyone wins. Rubbish. There's only one winner in life. So if it was due to financial circumstance, I'm sorry. If it was due to the fact that your team didn't get the latest NVIDIA graphics card and you only got the MSI card or Raiden card, I didn't know these different things, I'm sorry. But the Jamaica bobsled team didn't have a bobsled and they didn't have snow and they did pretty well. So the point that I'm making is that if you want something bad enough and you are that good, one of those great teams is going to find you. I mean, you get these in traditional sports. The guys get scholarships. They come from nothing, but they had skill. The scouts saw them. They brought them in for a training day, and they gave them a full scholarship. You got to remember that there's 2 reasons people play sports or do activities. One, for themselves, because they enjoy it until the point that it becomes a profession, maybe. But more importantly, because spectators watch it. I want to watch the best. I don't want to watch the politically correct, fair, everyone's a winner group. I want to sit there and watch the best. And if you can smash a guy in 30 seconds, awesome. Then you're the best.
So on this one, we will have to agree to disagree, because I did go to school with a handful of people that were coming from a disadvantaged space.
So did I.
And their only option to not be in gangs was sport. The only option. So it was saving their lives.
Yeah.
So there's a third category.
It's correct. But also you can also play sport. It doesn't mean you're going to be the best. I'm saying when you're at that level, when you're playing professional, all the stories, all the circumstances, they're now off the table. You've moved into that elite.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not going to affect them though, because they all start in the same place.
Just early on. The kids start 2, 3, 4. I mean, Tiger Woods, right?
Yeah, look how he ended.
True.
The only hole he was sinking wasn't on the golf course.
And how much money does he have?
Yeah, well,
but how much money did his parents come in and put into his upbringing, right? Like
the Williams systems were the same as well.
Yeah.
But No, so it's a bit brutal. I agree. It is a bit brutal. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that you got to remember that sports is about money now. It's moved to that level.
Sure.
And the spectators have to see the best.
And esports Absolutely.
And there's nothing cheap about it. I mean, there just isn't.
And access to a computer in a public internet cafe.
Not fast enough, right? The processors aren't there. That's the problem.
So, so that's changing now. So like in
True, and the guys like Microsoft, they put on these events. Every Friday you're welcome to go there and use their machines.
Absolutely.
So you can train there.
But like down so I'll be in Jakarta tomorrow, something like that. But there's an esports league that's building up there, and these cafes are blowing up with the top end PCs. So that's what I'm saying. Is the access is there, but
but you can't get CBD oil. That you can't get. But
not in Jakarta.
But the best in the world at the moment are there without it.
Sure.
So you'd still be able to get to the point where you'd be recognized. And that's what I'm saying is once you make it, and only 1% of the world makes it in everything in life. That's just how it is. But once you do, you'll be able to get what you need to be. So it will be a fair field at that level is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The 99% that are trying to get to that level, it might not be a fair field. And that's where money look at Charlie in the chocolate factory, man. He only had money for one chocolate and he got it and he got the golden ticket. So it was a happy ending.
Well, as you said before,
not that kind of happy ending.
If you believe in fate or destiny, everything happens for a reason.
100%.
Right? So,
if you're going to be awesome, you're going to be awesome. It doesn't matter what's thrown at you. Talk about being awesome. I think we need to pay it back because we are at that time of the year. I'm going to call this scamazing. Guys, people, listeners, friends, family, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Please do not fall for this crap that's going on on the internet now. We're coming up to Christmas. People are trying to get last-minute deals. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, and that applies to online shopping. There are so many scams going around where people are selling stuff at a fraction of the price, like $600 stuff being sold for $100. Just think about it for a second. Take the internet away. Take the ease of buying online away and think about it for 1 second. How would someone sell something for $600 and sell it to a market where there's a demand when this company called, and I'm going to name the latest one, AM Hub Shop is the one that I came across.
AM Hub Shop, what were they selling?
It's called a trike. It's an electric three-wheeler.
Yep.
You stand up.
Seen it. Yep.
You've seen the adverts. So they prey on Facebook. That's their thing, and they're using Shopify. So here's my little tip. The first thing you do is Google the store.
Yep.
Just Google them. Then if you find the store, look through their products. One of the tests that they fail at all the time is currency changing. So if you look at something that's $100 and at the top corner somewhere where it says login or create account, it'll say American dollars. Change that to Australian dollars. Change it to British pounds. It'll still be $100.
Yeah.
They haven't put that effort into that engine because the engine doesn't exist. You will be scammed. You will lose your money. You will not get your money back. So the other thing that you should do as well is alert the owner or go to the owner's website. So if you've been looking for the latest trike or whatever it is, go to the website, have a look there. And a lot of the owners are actually putting up scam warnings. They're saying, we've been told that their sites, this is the only place you can get a trike, blah, 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 blah.
And how much does a trike? $600?
So I think, I don't know. I'm making this up.
Okay.
I'm just saying that I don't know what the product is. This one was a trike that was 600 and now it's 100. But I didn't go and look at the final site.
Yeah.
But you can see, you can actually see it. They prey on you based on your Facebook page. And it's always Shopify accounts because you can just set those up. They're not proper websites.
I'll bet you considered the trike.
I looked at it, of course I did, because remember, they're profiling and buying the same way. The reason I was doing this, I've been looking for scooters for Cade.
Yeah. He
wants an electric scooter. I thought the stand-up trike is even better. It's like fun.
And this is no promotion, no sponsor for us though, but my mate Ottavio has a Stealth.
I don't even know what that is.
Somewhere between $200 and $300. Stealth electric scooter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it looks
Does it go?
Quite sturdy. Yeah, it goes. He said he tried to ride home from Piermont back to Mossman, and it died about 2 kilometers from his house.
It's not a heavy thing to push if you have to.
No. Well, no, it's not. It's not. Yeah. But I think, just plug for electric scooters, Sydney, we have not had the wave of electric scooters on the street come in yet as the green electric lights have come in.
Right, it's coming.
Absolutely not. Just drive safely, wear a helmet, don't
be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
I mean, that's just a simple thing. The guys in these bikes also, they just, People
That's
get
it.
crazy when they do funny things. But yeah,
Scams.
people don't have spare money. Times are tough.
Yep.
So it's, you got to buy a present for your kid. You got to buy a present for your dad. These guys are preying on you. The internet makes it so easy. Go to the real website. Have a look. If it's like 15% less,
Yeah.
that makes sense, right? These guys have done a deal. They've bought overstock. Maybe it's an older model. And bear that in mind as well. That's not a scam, but you're not buying the latest whatever it is. They've bought clear. There's an amazing company in America. They called like Overrun or O-Store or something like that. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I'm in the States. But basically, they go around and buy Overstock. I think that's it, overstock.com. So they go and do deals with all the clearing stock, and they do it at really good prices. So if it's a clearance of an old model, then it makes sense. But if it's a brand new product that's the hottest product on the market at the moment, you're not getting it for 80% off. You're not. So, and I think the final thing is always try use PayPal when you pay, because PayPal sometimes can help you get your money back. They have like a guarantee system. Yeah.
A little bit of last tech news. You remember when I got the... actually, I don't know if we were doing the podcast by then, but I don't know if you ever got to try it, but the hoverboard. So the hoverboard.
I've tried it, not your one, but I've tried a hoverboard and it saw my ass.
Hoverboards came up, and then they were blowing up because the Samsung
the
batteries were blowing up, and then they fixed them. So then there's a few out by Segway. Segway bought Ninebot, and Ninebot was a bunch of them. Now I saw one at Target on sale, and wasn't it 200?
Target.
Yeah, our Target here. Now, does that mean that they're legal again in Sydney to drive, or just for home use? The other funny one was at the Jakarta airport with my wife Marcia on the way back last trip. People were just cruising around in the airport. Security guys, airport personnel and staff.
All on Ninebots.
On the two-wheel ones. And it was like interesting to see. It's kind of like that weird future now kind of thing. And it makes sense.
Yeah, I'd still would like to have the one with a handlebar where you can, like the proper Segway.
Yeah.
Because the balance on that and little bumps in the road, that's actually the problem. I don't know if it's about legality, but if you've walked along our roads, they're bumpy. The pavements I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So on a hoverboard, you're going to see your ass.
Do not recommend it.
Yeah.
A mate of mine, Nasser, Nasser broke his wrist riding mine.
There we go.
And that was on the super flat. And I rode it into an elevator, and just the bump there, I fell back and hit my head on the back. So,
they're dangerous. As you said, you're going to do stuff like that, wear a helmet.
Yeah.
Does that wrap us on Tech News?
I think it does.
Tech News with a Z. It's time for XR. Extended reality.
Extended
Reality.
Mm-hmm.
Extended reality. Where are we going? V or A?
V or A. Go A.
A. Go A. Go A. A. Go.
So the first bit of news is a mirror called a Mirror.
Mirror on the wall.
Mirror on the wall. Now, who's the fairest of them all is actually an interesting one, because it's a mirror that has a built-in augmented reality exercise function.
How cool.
So it actually shows you how to do the exercise in front of it. It connects to your wearable, so you can actually track your heartbeat in it, and it will display your heartbeat and your biometrics on the screen itself, how many calories you're burning, etc.
So you never have to stop looking at yourself to get your data.
Just keep staring at yourself.
Nice.
Yeah. But I really
is
like
that
it.
Concept or is it out?
No, it's out. It's out. Launched in September. It's expensive. It's US $1,500, so around $2,000 Australian. And classes cost US $39 a month.
So it does the training classes and through it. So it becomes a screen, like a video screen.
Yeah. Now, the interesting part is that you're saying, wow, I just spent $2,000 on a mirror. Count how much money you spend on going to the fitness, going to the gym. What you do at the gym, how much time it actually takes you to get to the gym and get back from the gym, and you start doing that in the amount of the value of your time, plus just having it in the
the personal
privacy of your own
trainer.
home. Yeah,
Also
and
the personal trainer. That's
absolutely.
expensive.
So, it actually comes down, and you can do classes with other people as well. So it's not just like one-on-one. So
does it network? So like you can have other people and you can see them in your screen?
Not see them in your screen, but I think you can see their activity in the screen. And you can also have the gamification.
Okay, so like almost a heart rate challenge or K's walked or run.
Yeah.
Nice. So there's an actor called Lakeith Stanfield. And he's been in a couple of movies. I wrote down the notes, but I don't have them here. But if you know who he is, you know he is. But this actually goes to the New York Times. So they did a thing called Tightrope. I only mention it because it's iOS only, as Android is not capable of this technology. Yeah. So that was an interesting one. So basically, it uses volumetric video for. This is where this article's just messed up. So it's not available on Android yet. They use the word yet because it uses a volumetric video format, which is powered by Microsoft. So we've got Microsoft powering stuff that only runs on Apple, but it's not available on Google. But I've just told a story about Microsoft using Chromium to build their browser. Anywho, but yeah, so basically the Times, and you mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, is like when you were in Publisher Land, how you were telling these guys to augment their content.
Absolutely.
Now all of a sudden they're augmenting their content. Did you clip a ticket there? Did they send you a royalty check?
Of course not.
Yeah. It was actually quite cool. He does like he's walking on a balancing bar and he's, but in the skyline of New York and that. So just fun. But what I was getting to is the fact that we're sitting at the end of 2018 and we still have limitations across platform. And here it's truly cross-platform. We're using a protocol that's developed by Microsoft that only works on an Apple, iOS device, and doesn't work on an Android device. It's just, these guys need to get that. It goes back to the web AR discussion.
Yep.
It's what it's all about. Kill the app and, keep it online.
So I don't think we talked about this yet. The Stadium AR? Ring a bell?
Where you see the stats and all that kind of thing.
No. So people that are on Facebook Messenger or Snapchat, one of the most attractive features is, and TikTok as well, is to be able to do an augmented reality overlay of your face and put on a Spider-Man mask or, whatever, all kinds of fun animations. So what they've done is they've added that into the people cam at stadiums in the U.S. So in the baseball games, when you actually go over and
the
see
kiss
people,
cam and all that.
Exactly. So you actually they put the facial recognition on there, so you put masks on people. And so they got animations or team colors and stuff like that.
Oh, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah. So
that's actually quite cool.
Yeah,
so like you can wear your team's colors.
Yeah.
Can the people control it themselves?
No.
Or does the camera just do it?
They can't.
Imagine being like a blue supporter and they put you in maroon. I was like, oh.
Yeah, well, no, they can't control it. But so what they control is some of the ones like when you open your mouth, like an animation will happen. So they've got that kind of a thing. Okay. But I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is quite cool.
A good use of AR.
Yeah, it definitely is. I got a yawn moment. Target, really? So Target's gone and copied IKEA. You can now see stuff in your space, including the Christmas tree.
Target?
Yeah, So the AR lover in me is like, yay, someone else is using AR. But come on, guys. Like, IKEA's been putting stuff in your home for 3 years now, I think. So, that starts with a Christmas tree, and they've got like 2,000 products that you can put in your home. The only thing I think they've done is that you can then purchase through AR. So they've put the purchasing engine in as well.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's like, we talked about Williams and Summon or Summon.
Williams.
Yeah, the furniture guys or whatever. Yeah. They've also done it.
Yeah.
And IKEA's done it. Yeah. And Target's anyway. So they've all done it.
Yeah. In an app. Now, when you can go to the IKEA website, or I can scan a QR code and go straight to see that in my house without having to actually leave a web browser, that's when it starts getting interesting.
Correct.
Right?
Well, my next funny you should mention this. Stay tuned. Lego Playground is now available. So I know you didn't watch the whole Apple launch like I did, but Lego demoed Playground. So what it is you set up a scene. You build the building, you put the little men, you put the cars, and whatever that scene is, right? And then using AR kit, so no app, you bring it to life, and you can play games, and you could like challenge each other and blow stuff up and like animate on top of the Lego. So they've launched it. Here that is where they get a little bit sneaky. Okay, so how does a company stay relevant and make money? Very easy. The app is free. Well, the app is running on AR kit. But you have to buy the Lego Ninjago Dragon set for $109, or the Dragon's Pit for $130. So you have to buy, and then you get all the different levels of the games that trigger off those pieces. So they're still selling you Lego, but the app is free. We're getting towards the end of the show, man. Have you got anything exciting that's like really breaking on VR? And then we can wrap.
I do. I think, and this is I think worth a share. So, had a long conversation. I saw our friend Mr. Roger on Saturday.
Rog 42.
Rog 42. We were talking about the fidelity of VR and how you need for a really good VR experience. You've got Vive Pro, and then you've got the opposite end of the spectrum, which is cardboard. Now, cardboard was kind of like washed out. Like it's kind of like it's pretty crap experience if you experience it. However, McDonald's is making Happy Meal boxes out of into VR headsets. So it's cardboard, right?
I pitched that to them so long ago. Just bust my balls.
And Coke is also making VR headsets out of Coke.
Out of the six-pack holder. Yeah.
So, on the one hand, it's like, cool, thank you for getting it out there. On the other hand, it's like, unless you have a rock-solid experience that is going to wow and give a positive experience and no sickness or any kind of like meh.
Yeah.
Like,
do you know where the McDonald's one does make sense to a point? So you buy the little box, right? They just drop the two little lenses inside there. You tear it up. It keeps the kid occupied while you sit there, and leave it behind, man. Don't take it home. Just like throw it in the bin, because then you won't get sick.
So I'd flip it around. If you can get people to download that app, assuming it's app-based, onto your phone, right?
It would have to be app-based.
You could turn it around to do a My Macca's kind of a thing, or My Monopoly, Macca's Monopoly kind of a game. So you get people back, ping them and say, hey, there's a new experience, there's a new game, there's a new thing, go find the whatever, Easter eggs, take it into the store.
So funny you say that. Because the one thing I did have was there's a now hidden objects game in VR.
That's it.
So it's exactly where you're thinking. Yeah. If you've played a hidden objects game on your phone, it's a bit, you're going against the clock looking for something. I think the company is called Giant Celebration, and their game is called like Giant Cranium or something like that, or the other way around. I don't know, but it's Giant Cranium, I think, is the company, and the game's called Giant Celebration. But you immerse yourself into like a city skyline, and you got to find stuff. Why I think that was mentionable in VR is that it's a nice use, especially with 6 degrees of freedom. You can actually move within the environment and find the hidden objects. So it might be behind a building, so it's not flat. Where you've actually got to look for the object. You know what I mean? Now that's where you could go with your McDonald's things. You could actually turn into a little bit of a hidden mystery game, and that's where the Monopoly side comes into it. See the board.
Add to that, Geo Unlocked.
Yeah.
Go to McDonald's.
Right?
It, right?
Yay, let's cause kids to get fat on unhealthy food. Go. I have one last thing that's mentionable, because normally I'm always bashing Facebook, but they've just been granted a patent on retinal HMDs, head-mounted displays. So what does this mean? So basically, they can make a low-resolution display, but wherever your eye goes, that part of the screen becomes high resolution. So it tracks the eye.
That's cool.
So it means that the processing power is reduced because it's not firing a 4K screen continuously.
Yeah.
And wherever you're looking is where you're actually focusing on the point. They get the data of where you're looking as well.
Yeah.
So they learn from that. So they've been granted the patent. Doesn't mean it's going to come up. Remember, they own Oculus. So for them to embed this technology into an Oculus headset, why not? But that's just good thinking. Save the core, save the processing power, fire up where you need it, I'm assuming that's what the reasoning is for, not just to see eye tracking, because we've got eye tracking already.
So how is it different than foveated view? So foveated view, I believe, is where it's only putting in focus what you're looking at, and the rest of it's
so what are you saying
out.
is that Facebook's not being original? They just taken someone else's idea and patented it.
Well, I know that there are a few
I don't
headsets
know.
that are, working on that. I also know that Tobii, the eye tracking software, is
they've done some deals with HTC and that, I think.
Yeah, so it's retrofitted back in, but it's still developer level. It's not like you can go buy that.
I think the whole thing about the retina is that the retina of the eye is it's a focal point. I mean, I wear glasses because I have got astigmatism. So my retina is different shape. It's not round, it's more pointy. So this allows you to put the focal point straight onto the retina.
Right.
That's my understanding. I don't know. It's just they were granted a patent. I thought it was mentionable purely because they're actually doing something. But from now that we've unpacked it, it sounds like they're doing more of a Me Too again, which is normal Facebook. So... yeah, I'm pretty much done on.
There's always
there's time, but I mean, if we're at the top of the hour, man. It's just like it's as usual. It's just run.
The only one I'll throw out is a bit of XR. So we haven't had that in a while, or MR, I suppose you could call it. But there's a game called it's a gardening game that came out on
a gardening game.
It's a Magic Leap. So it is called Alien Plant Gardener, and it's from Insomniac. But apparently, it's kind of fun. So you actually...
I'll take your word for it. Sounds like Plants vs. Zombies in VR.
No zombies. You just plant crazy plants on surfaces. And like many of the kind of clan-style games, you don't actually have to go back. It's like Tamagotchi. Like you have to go back and feed it every few hours games. Or something like that, or like once a day for 2 minutes. You do a little sprinkle. Again, Magic Leap in the right direction, eyewear, and something that is passively adding to your environment. Interesting. Value proposition to people, maybe it's kind of like the Calm experience where you go in and you water your plant and you spend some time with your little holographic lifestyle. It's like the guy that married the hologram. I mean, different strokes for different folks.
There's no stroking there, mate. It's a hologram.
A student in Japan married a hologram. Literally, his parents were like, no,
that's insane.
That way world's changing.
Anyway, I think we're going to wrap on that.
We'll just stop there.
So that brings it to us. Until next time, keep your screens clean and your knobs shiny.
Thanks for listening to our latest episode of The Technology Show. Remember, for more episodes, hop onto eaglewavesradio.com.au, follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Catch you next time.